you ready for your favourite 10 minutes of the week? You'd better be, because Access episode 65 is here, loaded with all of this. A look at Ron Gilbert's ace new adventure, The Cave, in Access All Areas. We pay tribute to our beloved PS2 in bonus level, and preview the best digital content on the PlayStation Store. First up though, get your angriest YouTube comments at the ready. Our game of the week is Devil May Cry.
When I was a young lad, playing as Dante made me feel really cool. Like, if I put on a leather jacket, I could beat up every school bully in my class and then trash talk them into tears. Playing as new, young, handsome, good at bloody everything Dante, however, just makes me realise how rubbish I've become at life.
Dante can juggle demons. I can't even juggle oranges. Dante can dress himself in mid-air. I struggle on the floor. Dante's got hair. Dante's got hair.
Hair that's become the main sticking point in the landslide of YouTube vitriol aimed at new developer Ninja Theory.
This game is Emo May Cry. They should have just consider and name it another new game and continue working in the real DMC5. Why, his name is Dante. WTF, haha. Where's Dante? With white hair?
Well, I'm glad you asked so eloquently, because platinum-haired Dante does indeed live on when you activate Devil Trigger mode, which, for Devil May Cry Virgins, is a bit like going Super Saiyan.
Which, for people who've never watched Dragon Ball Z, is a bit like when you get really angry at something and your hair turns white.
Ooh.
For all the crap herbally surrounding Dante's redesign, however, it's the world that's seen the biggest shake-up. Gone are the towering Gothic spires and arcing castle corridors, to be replaced by ultra-relevant grind-caked streets, buildings that move and require deft platforming to traverse, and a fashion sense that wouldn't look out of place in an episode of Misfits. Even series mega villain Mundus has been given a lick of the make-it current brush, going from a flame-wreathed bag of shouting to a Murdoch-style corporate power hoover with the most diabolical plan ever.
I will control the world through debt.
In addition to a plan, he's also got a melting horror sack of cosmetic surgery as a sort of lady friend. Good job she bought the new, not at all patented, age-defying head clip then.
Does your face look like a badly wrapped sausage? Introducing the perfect pick-me-up for your worn-out human suit. Scientifically proven to reduce the effects of hanging, our head clip will restore that glowing wag look after just one use.
I don't know what I'd do without it.
The new, not at all patented, age-defying head clip.
Because you're demon scum.
What you'll be relieved to hear is that despite all the aesthetic changes, the beating heart of Devil May Cry remains thoroughly intact. Combat is a familiar mix of swooshing swordplay and hectic shootage, with a bunch of additional weapons that are actually useful for a change. Plus this time there's a story with characters and dialogue that doesn't make your buttocks want to fold in on themselves.
The world is at last your bitch.
And for all the low-cut vests and shaved back and sides, the rebellious, wisecracking, cooler-than-thou Dante we all know and love is still very much the star. Although I do have to admit he's a bit ruder this time.
You!
Oh, wait, no, oh, God! Well, I was about to put a positive spin on your game, Dante, but,
Put a spin on this.
Why?
All the news in a single wallop now as we deliver your PlayStation briefing. After the acclaim heaped on last year's emotion-shredding episodic version of The Walking Dead, it's fair to say that Activision's upcoming full-fat adventure, based on the TV show rather than the comic books, has a lot to live up to. Or die up to. Be undead up to. Either way, we asked the guys behind the game all about it.
This one is a first-person survival type of game. You take the role of Daryl, which is a character from the TV show, and it happens as a prequel kind of to the TV show while Rick is still in a coma. So it's different because we take a lot more cues from the TV show, like the sounds and the music and the color tones and everything else.
Also on the way from Activision is a big action vehicle for Marvel's wisecracking anti-hero Deadpool. You can expect other Marvel stars like Wolverine and Domino to appear, but the really big news for PlayStation fans is that the voice of Nathan Drake, Nolan North, will be reprising his role as Deadpool.
And he picked me and us together, and you get me us, meows, cat.
He's the only character in the Marvel Universe that knows that he's in a comic book. So that means he breaks the fourth wall. He knows that you are there as the player, and that lets him interact with you as the player in a way that no other video game character can. He gets to make fun of other superheroes that can't poke fun of themselves. I can't think of another game where the main character gets to slap Wolverine in the face and live to tell about it. So it's a lot of fun.
Suck it, Wolverine.
We'll have more news next week.
Boom! That just happened! Mic drop!
Time to fatten up that download queue. It's your weekly roundup from On The Store. As far as really important things happening in 2013 goes, the release of Grand Theft Auto 5 is right up there with the birth of Britain's future monarch and Dot Cotton moving back into Albert Square. To get us in that open-world crime spree spirit, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories are both now available from the PlayStation Store. If you missed either of these gems back when they hit PSP, now is your chance to make amends. Both games are huge, wonderfully deranged, and full of immoral loons just waiting to be loaded with lead. Oblige them. Time for gratuitous explosiveness with a posh accent and a monocle now, as Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt DLC arrives for last year's co-op boomfest Borderlands 2. The budding Sherlocks among you will no doubt have deduced from the title that this sizable campaign add-on is all about dredging up exotic fauna and then giving it
The old 1-2.
Yeah, which means killing it in the face. Either way, it's an excellent excuse to round up your online posse and plunge back into the loot-happy depths of Pandora, as if anyone needed. And finally, here's something for those of you who enjoy pretending to like old stuff in an ironic skinny red chinos kind of way. Retro City Rampage. But then you do get the odd pair of skinny red chinos that are actually comfortable, which is just how this top-down 8-bit style arcade blaster feels when you stick it either on your PS3 or PS Vita. It's got all the tinny sound effects and pixelated explosions you'd expect from a game trying to emulate the 80s, so all you've got to do is grow out your hair and stick some Cyndi Lauper on the old cassette player and you're there. That's your lot from the store for now. We'll have more downloadables for you next week. The beginning of 2013 also marked the end of an era, as after 12 incredible years, production of PlayStation 2 was ended. Here's just some of the reasons we'll miss the magnificent machine. Goodbye, old friend. Greetings from a dank, dark cave in London that's actually Waterloo Arches. This week's Access All Areas is about a cave, however. The Cave, a brand new platform adventure from Double Fine and Ron Gilbert. We spoke to Mr. Monkey Island himself to learn all about it.
Yeah, well, the cave is about these 7 characters that go into the cave. And there's a knight, and he's looking for a sword of unequaled power. There's the monk. He's searching for his master this evening. There's the time traveler. She's there to right a wrong 1,000,000 years in the making. There's the scientist, who is on the cusp of a great discovery for all of mankind. There's the hillbilly. He's looking for love this evening. The twins. Yeah, they're they just want to go outside and play. And the adventurer. She's looking for lost ancient treasure and her 2 companions.
So Ron, if you went into this cave of yours, what would you find inside?
Well, there's definitely one of the 7 characters. I'm not going to say which one, but there's one of those 7 characters that is me. That is my dark secret and why I would be going into the cave. It's not the evil twins, I will say that, so it only leaves 6. And I kind of hope when people play the game that maybe they see a little of themselves in one of the characters and have an attachment, to the individual characters.
Good answer, but we'd find treasure and happiness. A massive thanks to Ron and everyone at Double Fine. We'll have more on the cave before it's released later this month. One last bit of DMC love to share before we head off this week. If you thought Rob looked pretty good in that dazzling blonde wig, and the chances are you didn't, then how about new Dante himself, risking the rage of 1,000 fanboys by mocking the character's old look in this cheeky moment early in the new game?
Not in a million years.
They won't be happy, Dante, but then they never are. See you next week.